Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life where the odds seem stacked against you. Times when the mountain looks too high, the valley too low, and the storm too violent. But I came here to tell you today nothing is impossible. You might be sitting there thinking, but you don't know my struggle. You're right, I don't know your exact pain, but I do know this. Your pain does not disqualify your purpose. In fact, it's often the very fuel God uses to push you into your potential. You weren't born to be average. You weren't created to stay stuck. There is power inside you waiting to be awakened. And here's the key: the impossibility you're facing is often just an opportunity dressed in resistance. Every champion you admire once stood where you stand, afraid, unsure, unqualified. But the difference, they believed, not in themselves alone, but in the power that works through them. You have that same power. You are not what people labeled you. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the opinion they gave you. You are who you decide to become starting now. The enemy wants to convince you that your dream is dead, your calling is cancelled, your strength is spent. But hear me, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's over. Just because it looks impossible doesn't mean it is. Impossible is a perception, not a prophecy. And if you've got breath in your lungs, you've got purpose in your life. So don't quit in the middle, don't settle in the valley, don't stop praying, dreaming, building, and believing, because the same God who brought you this far didn't bring you here to leave you. You're about to break through what broke others. You're about to overcome what overwhelmed you. You're about to see that nothing is impossible, not because of what you have, but because of who has you. Let's go change the world, one impossible thing at a time. 10 key points of the speech expanded without subtitles or conclusions. People often confuse difficulty with impossibility. Just because something is hard doesn't mean it's not meant for you. In fact, the things worth fighting for are often the hardest to attain. The key is not to let the challenge rob you of the belief that it's still possible. The greatest limitations people face are not external, they are internal. The real battleground is in the mind, the voice that says you can't, you're not enough, or it's too late. Defeating that voice is the first step toward proving that nothing is impossible. Purpose isn't limited by your past. Mistakes, failures, and regrets do not cancel what you were created to do. Often, the very things you think disqualify you are what God uses to give you a unique calling and impact. Your past doesn't define you, it prepares you. Every impossible thing ever achieved started with someone who was crazy enough to believe it could happen. Whether it was walking on the moon or walking again after paralysis, belief always comes before breakthrough. Belief activates the boldness needed to defy logic. Obstacles are not signs to quit, they are signals to grow. Growth doesn't come when everything is easy, it comes when you're forced to stretch, adapt, and fight through the resistance. That resistance isn't there to block you, it's there to build you. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. So if you feel unqualified, good, you're exactly who He loves to use. He specializes in using underdogs, outcasts, and overlooked people to do extraordinary things. You're not fighting alone. There is a power greater than you working within you. When you feel weak, that's not the end, it's an invitation to rely on something beyond yourself. The greatest strength comes when you surrender your limitations to divine possibilities. Sometimes you don't need a plan, you just need to take the next step. Waiting for everything to be perfect keeps people paralyzed, but momentum starts with one obedient, courageous step. Don't wait for the path to be clear. Walk by faith, not by sight. What you see as a dead end might actually be a doorway. Closed doors aren't always rejections, sometimes they are redirections. What looks like the end of the road may actually be the start of something greater than what you are aiming for. If you don't give up, you win. The only real failure is quitting. Every day you rise again, even after falling, you're proving that impossible is a mindset, not a reality. Keep showing up. Keep speaking life. Keep declaring truth. You were built to break through. Would you like a short video script, social media captions, or thumbnail text for this speech? Certainly. Here is ***, key point 1 fully expanded *** into a *** powerful motivational segment, in Stephen Furtick's passionate style, without any subtitle or conclusion, in a lengthy, emotionally driven, and high impact format. People often confuse difficulty with impossibility. But let me tell you something: just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because it hurts doesn't mean you're not healing. And just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not worth it. We live in a world obsessed with speed, fast results, instant success, quick turnarounds, but real transformation doesn't happen in an instant. It happens in the pressure, in the tension, in the long nights when no one's clapping for you. It happens in the process, not the platform. See, the challenge you're facing right now is not proof that it's impossible. It's proof that you're in pursuit of something significant. You don't struggle over small things. You don't wrestle with dreams that don't matter. That resistance you feel, it's the weight of your calling trying to lift something heavy. And yes, it's heavy because it's holy. That's why it hurts. That's why it's hard. But here's the thing: difficulty is not a dead end. It's a doorway that leads to depth, a doorway that forces you to grow roots before you grow fruit. If everything came easy, you'd never build the strength to carry what you're asking for. God isn't denying you, He's developing you. When people say, that's impossible, what they really mean is, that's unfamiliar. And we're afraid of the unfamiliar because it requires faith. It asks us to step out without knowing what's next. But if you only walk where the path is clear, you'll never go where miracles happen. Miracles don't live in the comfort zone, they live in the chaos, in the places where you're over your head and under pressure, but somehow still standing. And some of you, you're standing right now in a situation that looks like it can't shift. You've tried, you've prayed, you've planned, you've poured everything you have into it, and it still looks stuck. But let me remind you, God does His best work in dark places. Seeds don't grow in the spotlight. They grow in the soil, in silence, in struggle. So don't mistake the silence for absence. Don't mistake the pressure for punishment. And don't mistake the hard for the impossible. What you're walking through isn't here to break you, it's here to make you. The difficulty isn't the end of the story. It's the evidence that the story is still being written. The pain you're feeling is the stretching of new strength being formed. And if you'll hold on, if you'll refuse to bow to the fear, if you'll stay faithful in the fire, you'll see that nothing is impossible, even when everything seems uncertain. Because what feels heavy right now is actually holy ground, absolutely. Here's key point 2 fully expanded in large length with emotionally rich, energetic, faith-driven language no subtitle, no conclusion and in the same intense, passionate delivery style you're aiming for. The greatest limitations people face are not outside of them, they are inside of them. You can be surrounded by every opportunity, every open door, every resource you need, but if your mind is locked in fear, it won't matter. You will stay stuck in a prison whose walls were built by your own thoughts. Because the truth is, your mindset is either your master or your miracle. Some people lose battles they never had to fight, not because the enemy was stronger, but because their own beliefs were smaller. You can't walk into something new thinking with the same patterns that kept you in the old. You can't speak faith out of your mouth and silently agree with fear in your mind. The loudest war you'll ever fight isn't the one out there, it's the one happening between your ears. How many times have you told yourself you're not enough, that you don't have what it takes, that you're too late, too broken, too behind? That voice inside you, the one constantly whispering who do you think you are? That's the voice you have to silence before you can ever rise. And it's subtle. It shows up in comparison. It shows up in hesitation. It shows up when you scroll and start thinking they're more talented, more qualified, more chosen, and you shrink back from what you were born to build because you started believing their highlight reel more than your own potential. But hear me, you are not what your insecurity says. You are not what your fear declares. You are not what your doubt predicts. You are what you decide to believe asterisk asterisk. And I know you've had disappointments. I know life taught you to play it safe. I know you've tried before and it didn't work out. But you cannot keep living in the narrative of what went wrong when God is calling you to write a new chapter of what's still possible. You've got to evict the lies from your mind that say, "This is just who I am now." No, that's who you were under pressure, that's who you were in survival mode. But who you are becoming is stronger, wiser, bolder, and more aligned than ever before. Sometimes, the most dangerous place to live is in the comfort of low expectations. Because when you expect little, you receive little. You tolerate average, you settle for safe. But faith doesn't play it safe. Faith dares to believe again even after the failure, even after the heartbreak, even after the delay. Faith says, "I may not see it yet, but I refuse to stop believing for it." And that's why the battlefield of your mind is so important, because if the enemy can't take your gift, he'll try to shrink your thinking. If he can't steal your calling, he'll try to poison your confidence. And if he can't break your purpose, he'll try to break your focus. That's why you've got to fight not just for your dream, you've got to fight for your belief that you're still worthy of it. Because at the end of the day, your life will always rise to the level of your thinking. If you believe you're trapped, you'll never try to escape. But if you believe there's a way, you'll start moving, you'll start building, you'll start speaking life again, and one thought at a time, you'll begin tearing down the walls of limitation that were never meant to be permanent. So if you want to see impossible things become possible, don't start by changing the situation, start by changing your story. Absolutely. Here's asterisk asterisk key point 3 asterisk asterisk fully expanded in asterisk asterisk large length asterisk asterisk with raw faith, driven energy and emotionally deep motivation asterisk asterisk no subtitle, no conclusion asterisk asterisk staying in that powerful Stephen Furtick inspired rhythm. Purpose isn't limited by your past. I need you to hear that not just in your ears, but deep in your spirit. You are not disqualified because of what you've done. You are not too damaged, too delayed, too divorced, too depressed, or too far gone. The past has power only if you let it hold the pen. But what if you stopped letting your past write the story and started letting your faith take over? So many of us are walking around carrying shame like a name tag. We introduce ourselves by our failures. We wear our mistakes like a uniform. But can I tell you something? You are not what happened to you. You are not the worst thing you ever did. And you are not the sum of someone else's opinion. You are not the addiction, the abortion, the affair, the bankruptcy, the dropout, the breakdown. You are not your lowest moment. Asterisk asterisk, you are God's work in progress, and He never quits halfway through. Asterisk asterisk, there is nothing you've gone through that cannot be used. Nothing. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every wrong turn, it can all be redeemed. But here's the thing, redemption requires release. You can't carry the weight of who you used to be and still walk freely into who you're becoming. You've got to let go of what's behind you so you can take hold of what's ahead of you. Some of you are being haunted by a version of yourself that doesn't even exist anymore. You keep replaying the failure. You keep rehearsing the rejection. You keep measuring yourself by moments God already forgave. Why do you keep holding on to what heaven already let go of? You say you believe in grace, now it's time to give some to yourself. Purpose isn't for the perfect, it's for the willing, it's for the surrendered, it's for the ones who know what it's like to fall and still choose to rise. You don't have to have a clean record, you just need a committed heart. You don't have to know the whole plan, you just need enough faith to take the next step. Because God can do more with a broken vessel than a proud one that thinks it doesn't need help. Think about it, most of the people we read about in Scripture, the ones we celebrate today, were all people with pasts, murderers, liars, runners, adulterers, but God saw something in them that others couldn't see. He saw purpose buried under pain. He saw potential wrapped inside imperfection, and he sees the same in you. You see, the enemy wants you to think your past is proof you're done. But what if it's actually proof you're just getting started? What if the pain you walked through was the very thing that's equipping you to help someone else walk out of their own? What if the mess you made is turning into the message that sets someone else free? You don't need to hide from your story. You need to own it, and then offer it, because what you've been through didn't break you, it built you. What tried to destroy you actually developed you. And what looked like the end was really just the beginning of a greater assignment. Don't let guilt silence your greatness. Don't let shame shrink your calling. Don't let history hijack your hope. Your past doesn't cancel your purpose, it qualifies you for it. Absolutely. Here's key point 4 fully expanded in a large, raw, faith-fueled delivery deeply emotional, motivational, and styled with the bold voice of Stephen Furtick no subtitle, no conclusion just pure momentum. Every impossible thing that's ever happened started with someone who was crazy enough to believe it could not someone who had it all figured out, not someone who had every resource, every connection, every strategy lined up. No, just someone who had the audacity to say, I still believe. And that belief, that wild, irrational, unshakable belief is what separates the dreamers from the doers. That's what breaks the barrier between never and now. We forget that every miracle begins in the mind. Every breakthrough, every invention, every transformation, it begins when someone refuses to accept what's in front of them as the final word. Belief doesn't deny reality, it redefines it. Belief says, yes, this is where I am, but it's not where I'm staying. See, most people are waiting for the conditions to change before they believe. But real faith doesn't wait for signs, it creates them. Real faith doesn't say, show me and I'll believe. It says, I'll believe even when I don't see anything shifting. That's what separates people who make history from those who are too afraid to try the courage to look impossible in the face and say, watch me. Think about the moments in your own life when you thought it was over. You thought you'd never recover. You thought you'd never love again. You thought you'd never get back on your feet. And yet here you are. You didn't just survive, you grew. And that was belief working quietly behind the scenes, keeping your hope alive when everything else said give up. There's a fire in people who dare to believe again, a power that can't be calculated, because when you believe something is still possible even when nothing around you supports it, you start pulling on strength you didn't even know you had. You start speaking differently, walking differently, praying differently. That belief wakes up boldness. It awakens vision. It calls out things that don't exist yet as if they already do. That's what makes you dangerous. Not your resume, not your bank account, not your social following. It's your belief. That's what hell is threatened by. Because a person who still believes after the failure, after the betrayal, after the loss, that person can't be stopped. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need approval. You don't need to be the smartest or the strongest or the most experienced. All you need is belief and the persistence to keep showing up, even when everything says you're wasting your time. Sometimes the reason it looks impossible is because you've been chosen to do what's never been done before. Maybe no one in your family did it. Maybe no one in your circle believes it. Maybe you've never seen it done. That doesn't mean it can't happen. It means you're the one who's about to prove that it can. Because God doesn't need permission to move. He just needs participation. He just needs someone to believe again, not in their strength, not in their skill, but in His power working through their yes. So if you're standing in front of something that looks impossible, don't run from it. Don't shrink. Don't disqualify yourself. Because belief doesn't wait for proof, it becomes it.